So university life is also often described as the best time of one's life, filled with growth, discovery, and excitement. But beneath all this excitement, we realize that students go through a lot when it comes to stress and depression levels. That is why today we are here on African Student Voices show to talk about the impact of stress and depression on students' academic performance. I have here with me amazing guests, but I'll introduce them after the break. And this, you can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Chimaima Deladem Tuchi. Stay tuned. Back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices show on AAU TV, and AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. Today we are talking about the impact of stress and depression on students' academic performance. And as I said earlier, I have with me amazing guests whom I would introduce. So I have here Jennifer Japon, who is from the University of Ghana and also the president of Borderless Africa. Okay, yes, from the University of Ghana and the president of Borderless Africa. And our gentleman for the day is Emmanuel Kwashi, and he is from Unimark IJ, the financial secretary of the SRC Unimark IJ. You are welcome. And lastly, I have with me Esther Yaira Mensah, and an immediate past student of Unimark IJ, and currently a host and producer at AAU TV. Hello Africa Morning Show. You are all welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so today we are talking about a very sensitive topic, which is the impact of stress and depression on student academic performance. I know that, outside the academic works, we go to school to learn, to read and get the knowledge and the skills and all that. But beneath or in acquiring all this knowledge, we know that there were quite a few things that do happen or that comes by that creates some form of stress and gives or students going through that form of depression when it comes to their journey through academic life. So I'll start with you, Jennifer. How has the journey been so far? You are in level? Okay, so level 3, 200, 300. How has the journey been so far?
So far, so good.
The experience
Is somehow okay, because in level 100, I don't know for others, but level 100 was difficult navigating because you have to adapt to the community. UG is big, a lot of people, so the courses and everything. It was a little bit stressful, especially when you have accommodation issues. Yeah, you have to go through all of that. Then balancing your academics, accommodation, trying to get things right, like our websites, using Sakai and those kind of things. It was all new. And for my bad, we didn't get the opportunity to get our orientation done live. We did it online.
Okay,
which most of us we pay attention to. Yeah.
So you feel like that affected?
Yeah. So as time went on, lectures, level 100, you like to go to lectures and everything.
But level 200, you don't like to go.
Oh, level 100, you are new, so you would want to do everything right. Yeah, deadlines. You have to it was stressful. But as time went on, we adapted. I adapted to the whole thing, and it was okay. Level 100 wasn't easy at all. Yeah.
Okay, let me come to you, Manuel. Share your experience with us so far.
For me, it has been quite difficult and stressful, combining student leadership and student politics with academics. Unlike Jennifer, for me, level 100 was very cool.
Rather.
Yes, because that was my first year. I wanted to enjoy school. Yes, so I made friends, lectures. I think for level 100, the courses weren't that difficult, so I enjoyed them. It all started in level 200 when I actively participated in student politics and combining. I had my first SRC appointment when I was in level 200.
Okay.
I'm currently in 400. Combining these responsibilities with academics is very stressful, and I didn't want to miss lectures too.
Yeah.
Full of level 200, I didn't miss lectures, so I had to make sure that the responsibilities did not come into my academic year. So level 300, I held over 4 positions. I was the financial secretary for my hall. I was a member of parliament in my school, that's General Assembly. I was a member of the finance committee. I was the president for a scholars club. So the responsibilities were a lot. And also combining them with academic work.
Yeah.
And also in level 300, that was when I was actively campaigning to be the next SRC financial secretary. So I think for level 300, the stress level increased, and the academic work too was a lot. Yes.
So I'll come to you, Esther, since you are an immediate past student. How has it been for you? You've experienced the whole 4 years journey, and how was it? The stress level, how were you combining? Because I know even during school times you do internships, so in a way you are working, you work at a point. How was it for you?
The journey was it was interesting actually, because I didn't have to, take up any position, but only dealing with group members and groups. Leading group works was another thing. Because usually I always wanted to be up front. I wanted to lead the group. So that journey was interesting because you had to deal with all sorts of people and all that. And apart from lectures was great. Whether you like a lecture or not, you still have to be in that class and you still have to take that paper. The journey has been interesting. I got to learn a lot. I got to understand how to mix academic work with you being an emotional being and learning to deal with people. And then for internships, I think one thing that I realized was that, you see, when you do internship, you find out that what you're studying in school, usually sometimes in the media space, does not translate in the work environment. Because in the media space, each media house has their own niche crafts that they put things out there. So it was also another learning journey for me to be able to learn from the work environment and from school as well.
Okay. So the journey has been great, I guess.
Great.
Okay. So now how would you describe the current level of stress when it comes to students? I mean, we've heard a lot of things going on in the news with regards to university students, how, people are not able to juggle through sometimes their work years and then the academic studies, even on campuses. I mean, there are a lot of programs that goes on. Sometimes you would want to go for this. Sometimes you wouldn't want to go for this. But level 100, you would want to be prescribed, as Jennifer said. You want to go everywhere, be on time, and then all that. But currently, there is a lot happening in the university space. I think currently, quite recently at the University of Education, Winneba, we heard of a student taking his life because of relationship issues. What would you say is the current situation of stress when it comes to the students in the university community?
When it comes to stress is on different levels. And when it comes to the school environment, we're going to talk about financial stress, which I believe our financial secretary will
talk more on that.
We have academic stress, we have stress from the home, and relationship stress, which people do not consider stress. One day I was listening to some other person talk about the guy who committed suicide. And he said, oh, the guy is a fool. Why should he do that? And I felt like some part of our society still do not understand the impact of such relationships and how it affects we students and then the academic work as a whole. And so the stress level is there from from home as well. And then there are also expectations that some students have from home. Maybe you are the first child and you're supposed to get a first class, and the expectations are high. You're supposed to get that. And so the stress is in social stress, and also the stress of students comparing themselves with others. You see, they are not able to handle peer pressure. They see stuff on social media, they want to also, replicate the same thing. They want to be, for the ladies, they want to be in the Bond Street. They want the guys to come pick them up in the cars and all that. Yes, those are also stress that is happening in our universities.
Okay. So now let's talk about financial secretary. How is a typical week for you? A typical week on campus, how is it for you?
Every week is stressful, where even aside the financial issues, students usually face issues on campus. So when they want someone to talk to, they move to the student leaders. Yes, and mostly I'm mostly in the office as I lecture. So immediately you enter into the SRC secretariat. My office is the first. Yes, so they meet me first. So usually I get complaints, whether financial or other campus issues.
Okay. So that means your office or your week is quite busy with students trooping in, as well as your academic schedules. Okay. Let me come to you, Jennifer. Let's talk about some of the sources of stress, where or what really what really contributes to student stress on their campuses, or taking their whole life into consideration. What are some of the things that you think causes student stress?
Okay, so like she said, expectations from home. Your mom and dad wants you to like get that first class. So there's pressure on you to like study like hard. I mean, if you understand the course or not, you have to pass because your parents expect you to pass. And then we have stress and pressures from other people. So like friends, you try to compare yourself to others. You want to wear that trendy dress. You want to hold that iPhone. It's actually a lot of stress on students when they want to do all the trendy stuff. You get some of them thinking, trying to find a way to get money and do all of that. And then also we have like academic stress from the school itself. So you have to meet deadlines, you have an assignment, you have a project to do, group works, a lot of things. And then when you are also in the student leadership space, you have to also do other duties if you are a student leader. So for me, I am part of UG Debate Society. I go for meetings 2 times a week. Yes, Monday and Friday. So I have to be there. I'm part of UG Parliament. So when there are meetings, you have to be there. So combining all of that, from leadership to academic work, expectations from home, your mentors, your pastors, they'll see and be like, you have to get first class. So it's cool. Like, so it's a whole different kind of stress that we go through that most students barely even talk about. I see a lot of people who go through a lot, but they don't say it.
Esther, would you want to add something? I mean, what causes student stress and depression?
You know, when she was talking, something came to mind where some students are being made to do courses that they don't want to do. So I mean, still there where their parents will say, I want you to be a doctor, so go and study medicine. That's already a stress on us, because you are being forced to do something that you are not passionate about or you don't see yourself doing. And I think those are one of the reasons why students are stressed.
Okay. So before we go for a break, I want to read something here. So I think this one will go to the financial secretary. So a 2019 study in the Ghana Medical Journal found that approximately 43% of university students reported experiencing moderate to severe depression, mainly due to academic stress, financial hardship, and social pressures. So, I mean, based on this, how do you think academic and financial pressures contribute to students' level of stress and then depression?
There was a time I was in class. A guy came late, and the lecturer asked him why he was late, and then he made mention that he had to go to work and come to school. Get it? So from work he came to school. That was why he was late. So students sometimes have to, even in a day, they have to balance work with academics. So such a person, if he comes to school from work, he's already tired because he has gone to work. He's already tired. He wouldn't be able to focus on what is being taught in class. You get it? So he would come to class, go back home, and then already you get it? So these financial issues cause because they would have to also get money for transportation, for daily upkeep, for school fees, for payment of projects and all that. Yes. So I think these issues cause depression and stress.
They are major issues.
Yes, they are major issues.
Okay, so academic and financial stress.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. Stay tuned.
AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it. AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
Welcome back from the break, and this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and we've been discussing the impact of stress and depression on student academic performance. Before the break, we were talking about how academics and financial issues stress students a lot and causes, and sometimes leading to, their depression. So welcome back from the break. So I want to read an article here, and I think I'll go with Esther. So an article titled, "If you need a psychiatric, it's bad. Stigma associated with seeking mental health care among obstetric providers in Ghana," which was written by Emmanuel R. Lawrence and others, and it was published in 2024. It says that societal norms in Ghana often discourage individuals from seeking professional mental health care. And then participants reported that emotional restraint is valued and seeking psychiatric help is perceived negatively, leading many to avoid accessing necessary services. What do you make of the study? It's talking about the fact that our society currently do not appreciate the fact that people would want to seek mental mental health care when they find themselves in such situations. What do you make of the study?
I mean, it's true because despite there have been a lot of campaigns on mental health, we still find that people are do not want to open up when they are facing mental health issues. Some people don't even know that what they are dealing with is a mental health issue. The stress and then the depression are all signs of mental health issues. So they don't even know in the first place to be able to identify that they need to speak to someone about it. Some tend to want to speak to their friends or their colleagues, but those people do not have the knowledge to handle you. They can just give you advice from their experience, but professionally, they can't help you gain and even help you release that stress or that depression. So yeah, the study is true, and then we see that most of the time in our spaces.
Yeah. I think you spoke about the fact that some students do not even realize they are stressed. So how do you think, or what do you think can be done, or what do you think how do you think students can know or indicate or identify that, okay, with how I'm feeling and how things are going and how my emotions are all over the place, it is showing that I am stressed? How do you think students can identify their stress levels?
And this was, I'm not professional, but maybe I can talk of maybe from a personal experience.
Okay.
I think I don't want to say okay. So I had this friend who her boyfriend broke up with her, and then she was an A student. She was a first class student. But it got to a time it started affecting her studies. She couldn't concentrate in class. She couldn't write her exams properly and all that. And so with such situations, you need help. You need someone to talk to. You need someone to help you know that it's going to be okay, so that you can find coping mechanisms to be able to address that stress. I think I watched a video a time ago, and this psychologist was saying that you feel the emotions, right? But what we tend to do is want to push away the emotion. We want to discard it, but you can't just disregard your feelings or emotion. It's there, you will feel it. So one thing I think the person made mention was to allow yourself feel it until it gets settled. You won't be feeling it forever, but allow yourself feel it, accept that this is how I'm feeling, and then you start working on it and start telling yourself, why am I feeling this way? You can even journal what you are feeling. Sometimes you pour your thoughts onto a paper. If there's someone you can speak to that you know the person can give you an advice that will help you, I think you can also try speaking to someone to help you, you know, bring that emotion that you're feeling out of your system. So yeah, definitely.
Let me come to Jennifer. How do you think the stigma related to you know, first of all, you realize that sometimes when you want to see a psychiatrist, people are like, oh, maybe she's going mad. People have so much stigma when it comes to you seeking for mental health, you wanting to go on therapy. I mean, in that part of the world, it's not really, really appreciated. So how do you think this stigma influences students not seeking for mental health when necessary?
So this kind of stigma that, like the UEW, right?
Yeah, the University of Education.
I'm sure he had people he spoke to about the breakup and everything. But then our society makes it look as if when you are depressed or you are going through something, you are a weaker vessel. So this alone, this perception or notion alone, like, dawns on you. So if I seek for help, if I see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, it means I'm weak. Especially when it comes to the gentleman. So I think it leads to a lot of things like suicide, people going to drugs. So I wish Ghana can take up this topic to be a crucial one, and especially in our universities. UG has has adopted the online method
Okay.
of counseling now.
Okay.
And I think it's best,
It's best.
and okay. Maybe you don't want to look the person into his or her face and tell the person what you are going through. The online method will be okay, and then you can book. I don't think it's 24-hour, but then the time is somehow okay. I think we should educate people a lot, especially students, about it. Like you said, most people don't even know that they are going through a lot. My close friend was actually depressed, but she didn't know that she was depressed because she was talking to me about something she was facing. And then she was like, when she's there and she sees a call, she won't pick the call. She doesn't talk to her mom, her dad, like she's not calling any relative.
Anybody.
Yes, she has cut everyone off, and she's just there. She says sometimes she'll be in her room, then she'll just lock the door and cry. She doesn't know the reason why she's crying, and she doesn't know the reason why she's not reaching out to people, and she's not answering calls. And then I was like, maybe you are going through something, maybe you are depressed. So like you should seek therapy. She did that and it's actually helped. So I think we should promote that.
And I like the system of the online sessions. I mean, not seeing the person, because I think sometimes you seeing the person and then having to pour out your heart, kind of, you feel like you are not safe. Sometimes you are too scared. Maybe as a gentleman, maybe you will take it from the gentleman's point of view. What do you have to say about it? I think she made mention of the fact that sometimes men feel you opening up makes you a weaker vessel as a man. What do you have to say about that?
I like the part where she said that it's a societal perception. So the society makes it look like men are strong, and in the case of
men are not strong.
No, you see, men are strong, but there is the emotional part. You get it. Looking at the issue of the EW student, for instance, if I'm going through relationship issues and I tell maybe Esther that this is what my girlfriend is doing and I've gotten a broken heart, Esther may say, in quotes, you're a guy. It shouldn't hurt you. You get it. So you see, there is this perception that even as a guy, you should know how to control yourself. But when it comes to issues like relationship issues, there is a point where you would not be able to take it. You get it. You have to speak to people, and if you don't get anyone to speak to, it may affect you mentally. And I think that we, as you said, in Eugene, they've adopted to the online version of the counseling. Aside that, I think that we should also know who to speak to. Yes, you have friends, and you know the people who would give you support, and the people who would laugh at you. You get it? Yes. So, and I would also go with what Esther said about you putting everything on paper. So I think that also helps at a point. It helped me when I think there was a time I was going through some issues. So I just take a pen and paper, I just write everything down. So yes, and I think in this world we can also use ChatGPT. People speak to chat.
People chat with.
So I think I usually say ChatGPT is your best friend. So it won't tell anyone.
But you think it will be emotional to actually understand your emotions?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yes.
An experience.
I've used it. I've used it. This is my comment. So there was a time I was dealing with something, and then I just typed into it. I was just saying, "Chat, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. What do you think?" And it will give you professional answers. I don't know how
it does it.
It does it, but it will assess what you've given to it and tell you that, okay, this is what you are feeling, A, B, and C. I don't know if it is proper diagnosis that is given, but at the end of the day, after talking to chat for a while, it will give you some ways to cope with what you are dealing, and to even give you some motivational quotes and tell you to read it to yourself, so you're able to deal. So chat is one. I don't know if it's good, but it has helped. Yeah, it has helped me.
So now to the main issue, how in what ways does stress and depression affect student academics?
It has a lot of adverse effects. I mean, your grades will be affected, your relationships will be affected. Yeah, I think this too. And then one thing people don't know is that even if you can't deal with the stress in school, when you come into the world where you are working now, you will still deal with stress. You would have to know how to multitask. You have to meet deadlines, which is almost the same thing as when you are in school, where you have to meet deadlines for your assignments and all. And so it has effects on you. You have to learn. You have to cope with stress. Stress wouldn't go away. It's going to be part of us every now and then, but you have to cope. You have to learn some mechanisms to be able to adapt to it. So,
so Jennifer, let me come to you. How effective is your school's let me say counseling unit?
I think it's very effective because there's a whole place for that, a whole building, guidance and counseling. I have not used their services before, but they even have annexes in some halls. Yes, so which makes it easier. So if you can't go to main campus to access that, you can just use the annex in your hall. And then they do promotions. They have posters around. If you are going through something, talk to someone, then their line is there, their location and everything. And I think they are doing so well.
And students do trooping.
Yes. So far so good. Since I entered UG, I've not heard any case of someone being depressed
or committing suicide. That's quite interesting.
I think it's okay for now. And then some of the lecturers too do advice during lectures, sessions, and sometimes after lectures. So yeah, I think Legon is doing well when it comes to counseling.
Okay. How about you, Nimak?
From experience, I think that though there is a counseling unit, students sometimes find it difficult to visit the counseling unit because they feel that, well, the person I'm going to speak to, I don't have that kind of relationship with the person. I don't know how it's going to go. So these students need people that they have a good relationship with to speak to. Yes. Aside that, the counseling unit in Unimark IJ, I think the counselor himself do come around to encourage students to visit his office when they are going through issues. And I think people do trooping, and I think from the people I know, they are doing good.
Okay, so before we close, what do you think are some of the mechanisms students can adapt during this phase of depression and then stress? I think we've made mention of the journal and then other, we can talk about largely how or what are some of the things apart from journaling and all that do you think can help students in their phase of depression and stress?
I think the main thing is to seek professional help, because the professional knows what you are dealing with. They can give you proper diagnostics of whatever you are dealing with. And so I think we can start from there. Then for religious societies like church and then the mosques, I think those areas do help a lot. So you find yourself among people, you tend to de-stress as a result of the activities that you play in these places. And then finding yourself in social gatherings can also help as well. I think these things. You can talk to your friends, but that one, maybe with that one, but you should find people who you think you can talk to actually.
Ima, would you want to add?
Adding up to what she said, I think that time management too is best. You'd have to know at what point would you have to focus on your studies, at what point would you have to visit a professional, and so that I think depression and stress wouldn't affect your other activities. So you can make time for academics, you can make time for professional counseling, you can make time for others.
Okay.
So that you heal through the process.
All right. I'm Jennifer, lastly.
Yeah, like what she said, the perfect thing to do is to seek professional help. But then you can also do some activities, maybe swimming, you can do some sporting activities. You shouldn't isolate yourself.
Yeah.
Isolation will make your stress and
Level
depression
high.
worse. So yeah, you can play games, you can listen to music, yeah, speak to people, attend events. Yeah, it will reduce your stress.
Your stress level. All right. So thank you guys so much for coming. It's been an interesting conversation and I like the experiences shared so far. So this has been African Student Voices, and today we spoke about the impact of stress and depression on student academic performance. You can find the interview or follow the conversation on our social media pages, Association of African Universities, on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Chimaima Deladem Doche. See you on another episode. Bye.